welcome to the History Makers. This is a show which brings you the best in entertainment, the biggest artists, the stars you've always wanted to watch on television, on KTN News. On this episode, of course, we are with the most beautiful lady, the girl who has given us a best music, Afrofusion music. And she tells us about the journey to the top. Nina Ogot.
Hi. Asante sana.
So you're the best in the industry.
I would love to think so. Thank you for that grand introduction.
Nina, how have you been?
Good. I'm good.
Long time.
Long time.
I saw you over 13 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
Young, vivacious.
Still young, vivacious.
Budding, trying to make this industry.
Yeah.
Tell us your musical journey. How has it been? I saw you performed in Kisumu the other day. You're going to Germany. So what's up?
Yeah, good stuff only, I must say. I think after 13 years in this industry, I finally had the courage to go to Kisumu. Because I've been singing in Luo and everyone's been like, Nina, go to Kisumu, go find out. But the reputation of Kisumu has been that that's a very hard audience. Yeah. But I was pleasantly surprised. We had a great time. And now I'm gearing up for a tour in Germany in July this year.
How long is the tour?
On average, it's about a month and a half, 2 months. Yeah.
Out there?
Yes.
Which places are you, which theaters are you playing?
So it's different venues, you know. When you're a touring artist, you have to be open to perform in different kinds of venues. Yes. But we have about 20 different kinds of venues, and we go all across Germany.
Your backup band is from Germany?
Yes, so it's a mixed band this time.
Yeah.
So we have 50-50. 50% is Kenyan. Yes. Which is important because this is Kenyan music. Yeah. And then the other 50% is Europeans. We have a French girl who plays the saxophone. Yeah. We have a Belgian guitarist who plays Kenyan, what they call riffs. Yes. And we have a full horn section from Germany. So how did you get your band together? How is it? It's not easy to get a multicultural, multicultural and multifaceted band. How did you bring a band as one team? It's interesting. You know, I was invited by a non-profit organization called the Treasures of Kenya to go to Germany about 4 years ago. And when I went there, the idea was to put together a band that could kind of play Kenyan music, but they were all Germans. And so many years later, we carried on the concept. Now I am the current ambassador for the Treasures of Kenya, so they help me put the band members together. So through my music, I promote their agenda, and they promote my music as well. So they are the ones kind of in charge of helping me find these musicians. Some we find online, some we have found just through word of mouth. So when you perform, is it fully paid for concert, or is it a concert where guys come to pay at the entrance? Both. So the idea is to get the music going. So whichever platform we can get, whether it's people paying at the door or a prepaid arrangement, we are open. Yeah. Now tell us, your first album, Nina Nairobi. Which picks from your name, Nairobi. I always say Nina Nairobi. Correct. But it's Nairobi. Yeah. So, and of course the second album, your sophomore album, was Yote. And then of course the latest one, which is Luo for Dala. How would you say the progression of your music has been? Yeah, you know, when you're an artist, you're a person also. Yes. Yeah. So the art that you reflect is just about you. And as you continue to grow, your art and how you express yourself continues to mature also. Yeah. So I can say that the beginning, you know, was the first album was with it was an acoustic album. So it's just me on the guitars with a really good guitarist called David Otieno. Yes. And so you get to hear me acoustically, and then in my second album was a collaborative album with Winyo, who is a contemporary Benga musician. Yes. And then in this third album, you get to hear me doing more of an international sound with a half German band and half Kenyan band. I'm waiting, usiemna. I'm waiting, usiemna. Nina Amani Wololo in Kenya.
When I listen to your music, the first album was a very, you're trying to discover yourself.
Correct.
The second album, when I listen to it,
yeah,
you're in love.
Okay.
The third album is you're now a mature artist. So what inspired the first album?
The first album was inspired by my desire to put content out there.
Yeah.
And you know, if you say you're an established musician, you can't be one if you don't have a product or a tangible audio version of what you do, what people can hear or people can see. Yeah. So my first album was mainly inspired by me trying to express myself as a musician, like you say, discovering myself also as an artist, and putting it on something tangible that people could hear. And also it's good, like, you know, history allows you to look back and see where you've come from. And I could never have done that if I didn't have an album. Yeah.
So this Aheri one,
yeah.
Whose song was that?
It's my song.
Who was it written for?
Now, the thing about being an artist is you can be very mysterious, and we're allowed to keep things secret.
This one is a secret, of course.
This is a secret, but I must say that it's a love song.
Yes.
It's a love song, and it was inspired by love. So whoever, the good person who inspired it can remain anonymous.
Is it the time you were dating at that time?
Yes, so I wasn't married.
Yes,
I wasn't married, but this song came out, I think, after I was married.
Yes.
So, yeah, most people have known it after my marriage life, but this was when I was dating. So you're right. I underestimated you, sorry.
And then I think probably it was a special written song by our contemporary Benga artists?
No. So this was way before we even met.
Are you sure?
Yeah, way before we met. So, yes, like I say, it can remain a mystery. Yeah,
so,
leave it there.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
I don't pursue it. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
Later. Let's go to Dala,
okay.
the latest album.
Yeah.
So it's very sweet to listen. It's very acoustic and the presentation, it fuses a different culture.
Yeah.
So what was your message in the Dala as an album?
First, you know, I lived abroad for many years, 4 years.
Yeah.
And during that time, you know, you interact with different cultures, different kinds of people. And one thing you always realize that even though you're having a good time, or even when you're not having a good time, you always have this feeling that you miss home. So now, many years later, fast forward to this current album, it was inspired by that feeling of, yes, I can be making music abroad, or yes, I can be making music out of Kenya. But the one thing I want to carry with me is home. And I want my home that wherever I go, it resounds in my music, in my attitude, in everything. Yeah.
So production-wise, you've done it in Germany.
Yes.
How hard is it to produce music, as a Kenyan artist, to produce music abroad?
You know, it's hard anywhere, even here. You know, what matters is your resources, the right production team, the right accounting. You know, it comes down to money a lot of the time. So if you have those elements put together, then you can produce your record anywhere in the world.
So you work with the same production house, or you freelance with the many production houses out there?
Each album has been different. My first album was a very simple album, just me and Dave Otieno on the guitars. So it was very simple in his studio. My second album was myself and Winyo. And yeah, we found a good producer locally. That was also a locally produced album. And this album was now the next step. So I wanted it to be a bit more global, a bit more international. Yeah, and therefore this informed the decision to do it out of the country.
So in the second album, which you did with my good friend Winyo,
yeah,
it was very low key, your relationship. I just heard, oh, Nina and Winyo are together. Oh, they've wedding in AG's chambers, and that was it. Why?
Yeah, why not?
Why didn't you just no invite for friends?
Sorry. Yeah, I think there are certain things. This is just my opinion, and it doesn't reflect the world's views. My feeling is things like relationships or health or things like that, they're a bit personal. So they're kind of better kept silent. That's my feeling.
Silent.
Yeah.
And silent shall be.
And silent it shall remain.
But you're together, you have a baby, or no? You have a baby?
Yeah.
How your baby is doing all right?
She's good. She's 8 years old. Tried to give her some music lessons until the day she said, you know, Mom, I'm not a musician.
Huh?
I don't know what that means. But it's good to allow her to explore other things, you know, and not to force her to be a musician.
Whatever you are.
Yeah.
So let me ask for the last one. You said we will not explore the personal things. We will let them remain personal.
Okay.
But are you in good terms?
Always.
Remain how? Committed to?
Yeah, always in good terms. We do our best. We do our best. That's what anybody in the world should do.
So you don't want us to know anything else about it?
No.
We just keep it short.
Yeah.
So anyway, viewers out there.
It's been many years. I mean, if you know, you talk about the wedding that was over maybe 7 years ago or 8.
Yes.
And we've kept it that way for all those years. So there's a reason.
Wadi saobiro wadi wadi epulu wadi epulu wadi saobiro wadi wadi epulu wadi epulu.
You moved to TV. You are in Citizen at what time? I met you when you were in RFI. And then you moved into music. How do you find your journey as a person and your growth? How do you define it?
My journey has had its ups and downs, I must say, and I don't think that's unique to me. I think every artist out there, if you've done it for the long term, you should expect it to be an up and down journey.
Yeah.
But I find it productive. You know, there are people who give up along the way. I feel that I have stood my ground. I have carried myself the best I can. And so anything that I experience today, the good things have come out of maybe the hard stuff.
What is the hard stuff?
The hard stuff is just staying true to your path. I think, you know, most people ask me why I'm not doing pop music, or because that's not my path. You know, my path is here, doing acoustic music, playing my guitar, using my voice. I feel this is what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. And even though it takes a long time to get this music out there, it's a long journey. But I feel I've stayed true to my cause. Yeah.
And it's true, you've stuck to your game, and your music is doing very well.
Thank you.
You performed in Rwanda, and I heard people really loved your music in Rwanda.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was great. It was just, actually, Rwanda was an interesting platform because it was just Winyo and myself. Just the two of us, no band, no nothing, just him, his voice, his guitar, me, my voice, my guitar. And it's interesting that as much as people think that if you want to have an audience who appreciates your music, you must have a big band and big loud sound. But my experience has been different, that of course it's a slower path, and of course you kind of win people one at a time. Yeah. But people always ask, where's this music? Why can't we get it on radio? Because they like the music. So yeah, it was a great performance. I'm glad we did it. It allowed us to learn new things about duets and toning down the sound even. Just performing two of you, 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and using the instruments, which are your voice and your guitar, and seeing what works. Yeah.
So the audience was it Afri-what? The Afri-Groove, the festival?
It was not a festival. It was actually just an event organizer who organized this event for us.
Ah, yeah. Nice. So from Rwanda, you performed in Kisumu. You always perform around in Nairobi. What would you say would be the best audience out there? Is it the Nairobi audience? Is it the abroad audience who are affinity?
It's hard to tell because as long as they're exposed to the music, they like it. So what I always say is the major setback is exposure. Because the more people know about the music, the more you realize they would like it. It's just the assumption that people don't like the music, but they just haven't heard it. Okay. So the more they hear it, the more you realize people like it.
No number in French? You know you're a French speaker?
Oui, je parle français.
Tu parles français?
Oui. Et toi, tu parles français?
Un peu.
Okay.
Un peu français.
Okay.
I just know a little bit of French.
Yeah.
But why didn't you sing in French? Because you're a French presenter first.
Yes, actually I was presenting on a French station.
Yeah.
They were the major sponsors of the show, but the show was in English because it was for a Kenyan audience.
Ah.
But in my first album, I have one French song, so I kind of sing sometimes, I have two actually. I kind of sing sometimes in French, but in my recent album, I stuck to Swahili and Dolu.
How many Dolu songs do you have?
Oh, many.
Huh?
Many. In this album, it's a 10-track album.
Yes.
Dala, of course, is the theme song.
Yes.
And then there's, Aheri.
Yes.
There's other songs in the album. I don't know if I can think of them off the 10 tracks.
There's also in the Swahili one, Yote Yote.
Yes, Yote Yote is in my previous album. But in this album, there's Yuwapi, there's Siku Moja, there's Tabasamu.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of Kiswahili songs as well.
In Luo we say Kiswahili si mdomo chetu, so
yes, I understand. For me, I'm a very poor Kiswahili speaker, but I write well. Huh? I actually write well, so yeah.
So you went to a group of schools?
But I can't say that was their strength. Kiswahili was never really, you speak French, English, and all these other languages.
Yes.
But Kiswahili, for me, I love the poetry behind it,
Yes.
And so I try to capture that the best way I know how in my music.
You're very stylish.
Thank you.
Who dresses you?
That's a good. It's funny. I had an interview this morning as well, and they said, "Who dresses you?"
Yeah.
Actually, I dress myself, and you know what?
Yes.
The reason I do that is because things like clothes, artists express themselves in their hair, in their clothing.
Yeah.
And it's a pity when you just hire somebody to do it for you, you should explore and see what you like, what you don't like. So I use this also, I can't say I'm the most stylish person, but I use this as an expression, my own
You
personal
have a lot
expression.
of beads in your songs, Maasai beads, shukas. And why so? Is it what you like, the African themes?
Yes, if I claim to make Kenyan music,
Yeah.
I feel that also it should reflect a little in
The style.
In my style. Yeah, so I try to find a few pieces here and there. I'm not a traditional Maasai woman, I'm not a traditional Luo woman, but I can pick some few elements here and there and mix and match them.
So if when someone met you, how would you describe yourself today?
Wow. How would I describe myself? As a very nice person, actually. I don't know, what can I say? I try and relate to people. I think what I hear people say is that I'm very reserved, and so I agree with that. I'm a very reserved woman, but it doesn't mean I don't like to interact with people and know more about them. So like when the opportunity presents itself and we have good conversations, I'm game. Like
Nice.
good conversations, like meeting people also. once in a while.
You meet people abroad, you're always in tours.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I think once you make music and you're in this kind of platform, you meet a lot of people. Yeah. And therefore, then there's the other side of you that wants to retreat sometimes because you can't constantly be in this mode of meeting people non-stop, you know? So I have both sides. I have the side that wants to meet people and then the side that would rather take a break also. Yeah.
Okay, when you had the hardest time in music, have you ever thought of quitting?
Yes.
How many times?
Many times. In fact, it's nothing but a miracle to be here today, really. Yes. Because the challenges can be overwhelming. And, you know, when people say you should do something else, you're like, yes, that could be a good idea to just do something else. If I could, and you see me like, sometimes I'm in the media, you know, I've worked on TV, I've worked on radio, I have taught even. Yeah, so I've done many things, and I'm grateful to have done them because they're only enriching experiences. But now I do music full time. Yeah, so yes.
Where were you teaching?
I have taught at the Alliance Française.
Yes.
I have taught at the French school as well.
French or English?
Both.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with these challenges, especially, you know, musicians? When things get so tough and you're like, wow, and you want to drop out of this music and you want to do something else and you come back and you hit, how is that mood? How do you get over these things?
I think you need a really strong spiritual center. I think so, because that's what guides your decisions, that's what gives you purpose. And if you have no sense of purpose, then certainly you'll throw it in the trash. I think priests, politicians, artists, they go through that. I'm sure many politicians are like, I don't want to do this anymore. Many priests are like, why should I continue on this path? It's a thankless job. You know, people go through it.
Yes.
But it's that faith that you have and the belief in what you're doing to make a change or to make a difference that keeps you going. Yeah. So it's certainly my faith.
That's what kept you going.
Yes.
And faith it is.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
And my love for music, certainly. Yeah, if I didn't love what I was doing, then certainly I wouldn't even have begun. So my love and my passion for art and for music keeps me going all the time.
So how do you rate your TV job and your radio job vis-a-vis your teaching? Were they stepping stones? Was there anything which was leading you into a better space?
You know, first things like teaching, you can always be a teacher and you can always be a student.
Yes.
That relationship with yourself and with others never really ends. You never stop learning and you can never stop teaching other people the things you know. So the teaching I think it will be a part of me always, maybe just in different ways. With the media, sometimes up to now, you know, I stopped hosting shows on TV or on radio 4 years ago, but people still write me on Facebook and say, why aren't you not on TV? Come back, you know?
Yes.
So I just think that if the desire is there and maybe the right opportunities, why not? But right now I feel that the doors are opening more and more for me in the music, and I walk through those doors. Yeah.
Okay, we appreciate what you've been doing.
Thank you.
You're such a great artist, and you've scaled heights where many people would have not even dared. French is very difficult, to be a French teacher and all this. Back home, how do you relate with your folks?
My parents are my number one fans, I think, you know, and they're the number one supporters. They're the number one sponsors. You know, if they never sponsored me to learn music at the beginning, maybe I would never have been here.
Yes.
So I'm grateful to them that they were open, and you know, a lot of parents are afraid when you say, I want to pursue this full time, and they're like, what kind of job is that? Yeah. Who does that even, you know? But at least they were open-minded. Of course, they give me the wisdom, which I was lacking because I didn't have the experience. But they were there to guide me and to show me a bit of the loopholes that I should watch out for, but nonetheless have been supportive all these years.
So when in your next album, do we expect to see you performing an Ohangla fusion there?
You know what? When I was performing in Kisumu,
Yes.
Tony Nyadundo came to the show.
Yes.
And it was nice. I was there behind the drums playing,
Yes,
yes. And he was singing. It was nice, and I really like his voice.
Yes.
And I thought, why not? I mean, I'm open. I'm open to not to be an Ohangla artist, but to collaborate with
an Ohangla artist.
Yeah, because that's what they do. They do it very well.
Yes.
And so there's no need for me to change what I'm doing to become an Ohangla artist, but to collaborate with them is certainly something I would do.
Because Ohangla has gone, and if you look at the East African music, what we lack is that the Afrofusion sound which you're doing is very good, but you need more artists so that it becomes a whole movement. Correct, yeah. And if you look at the Ohangla and you look at the other West African Afrobeat, it's almost the same. It's huge in expression. Yeah. So I think the elements can be picked. I think it's high time people picked Ohangla and took it international, not as it is, but in Afrofusion way, and I think it's a better way. So do you think it's there a chance where we'd see a way of taking this music to the higher heights? Yeah, me, I take my own art, I infuse my culture into what I'm doing, and I diversify it and try to give it kind of an international appeal. So those who are doing Ohangla music would have to do the same if they wanted to reach out. It's in the same even with, for example, stand-up comedy. You can tell jokes about Kirinyaga all your life, but then it only relates to the people of Kirinyaga, so if you want to expand it, then you have to start telling jokes about Kisumu, you have to start telling jokes about different towns so that other people can relate to your jokes. And of course, if you want to cross the boundaries, then you must start telling jokes about Asia and America. And so it's the same with music. If you wanted to cross the borders, you have to find elements that give it a more global appeal. Yeah. So any other collaborations internationally, do you think you'll pick a West African artist? Would you like to do a collab with maybe Angelique Kidjo and the Western African Graduates? What I found with this career of mine is it's full of surprises. Every turn is different from the last, and so it's even hard to calculate. Sometimes you think you're headed east, and then you realize the compass was pointing north. No, then you just turn. And you switch, and you be flexible. Yeah. Right now, I never imagined in my life that I would be in Germany. Because I don't speak German. I studied French and I've been teaching French, so it would have felt like the compass was pointing towards France. But here I am in Germany today, so I'm open. It could be a German artist, it could be a Polish artist, it could be anybody. Anybody who sounds good and we can collaborate with, I think I'm very open. Yeah. Sing for us one song. Oh my God. Please. One song. Aheri or Dala? I'll do Dala, just one bit. Okay. Tera Dala, Chunya Dwaro Dala, Wothwadi o Dala, Anawero Dala. So now you need to buy the album together. That's impetus for you to get the album. Buy the album. Where is the album available? So it's available on any international platform. I think the most known ones are iTunes, Spotify, CD Baby. You can get them. Once I say iTunes, everybody knows iTunes. Okay. Skiza also you can get. If you want your tune on Skiza, you can get it as well. Okay. Yeah. We will subscribe to Skiza Tunes. We are local. Thank you very much. Correct. Yeah, that's the only way. And you don't sell, nowadays you don't sell, no one sells hard copies anymore? I do, I actually do sell hard copies. We were doing door-to-door delivery. If you wanted, you could order a copy and we deliver it. You can just send me a message on Facebook and you get it at your doorstep. But mostly I do so at my live performances. So after a show, most people want to get a hard copy and that's where I sell them. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I think we go for a break. Then when you come back, we start with the second part. Thanks, Nina. Okay. Okay, welcome to the History Makers, the second part. Of course, we are still with the beautiful Nina Ogot.
Thank you.
The lady of the day, the lady who dresses like a princess here.
I do what I can. I do my best.
By the way, do you listen to other artists' music? Who inspires
Of course.
you?
I listen to a lot of music. I listen to Kenyan music,
Yes.
all kinds. I don't strictly listen to my style of music. I listen to music from West Africa, a lot of West African music. I listen to American music. I listen to all sorts of music, actually. So this is, I think, maybe what then eventually allows me to create this kind of fusion of music, because I listen to instrumental music. I listen to anything.
So, who would you say is a good local Kenyan artist?
A good local Kenyan artist. When it comes to like hip hop and things like that, I like Octopizzo. I think,
yeah?
I do.
Yeah?
I think he has good music, he has good lyrics, he has a good vibe. A female artist, let me see. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of all the people I've listened to. Recently in Kisumu, I discovered an artist. I know he's been there a while, but his name was Jose Langa.
Jose Langa.
Yeah, maybe you haven't heard of him. He's an upcoming artist. And there's, you know, there's all these underground artists who are coming up that people don't know much about, but they're great. So yeah, so I would say I also listen to old school music like Daudi Kabaka.
Ah, you said Daudi influenced you.
Yeah, he did. You know, he has this style. I listen even to Omotibo music from the Luya
George
community.
Mkabi,
exactly.
George Malenya, the 60s.
Yeah.
Omotibo was huge.
Omotibo was huge. I like it a lot. I use some of the elements of Omotibo in my music. Few. I'm not an Omotibo artist, but I use some elements.
Do you use the Coca-Cola, the Fanta bottle?
In fact, I was like, how can I revolutionize this Fanta bottle? I love it. It's great.
Because that's a distinct...
That's the point.
Yes, that's a
that
distinct...
Fanta bottle is the
Fanta
point.
Bottle. But they don't manufacture the same Fanta bottle again. So
that's the problem. Now we're into plastic. So I don't know what will happen to Omotibo music if there's no Fanta bottle.
Because it's a guitar. It's the box guitar and the Fanta bottle, which makes it different.
Yeah, and they have this traditional water drum. You know, the water where you store water.
Yes.
That's the drum.
Yeah.
So it's Omotibo is so natural. I like it a lot because of that. It's like it teaches you can make music from anything. You can use a Fanta bottle, you can use a water drum, anything. Yeah. And a guitar is just a fancy way of making music, but you can use anything. Have you
ever thought of maybe incorporating Nyatiti in your music?
I have.
Yes.
I have, and I did, actually. I've performed with a Nyatiti player before, many years ago. And sometimes I use a few elements of how Nyatiti is played on my guitar. But, Benga music has come from the Nyatiti.
Yes.
So Benga music is just a modern interpretation of Nyatiti.
Yes.
And so it shows you that the guitar, when it came, it kind of interrupted Nyatiti playing somehow. So it has taken prominence, but I certainly would like to
incorporate.
Yeah, people like Ayub Ogada, of course, who use the Nyatiti a lot in his music, are a huge inspiration for me as well.
So what about when you say that you play a fusion of Benga sometimes, but you see the difference between playing Benga and other like Lingala is falsetto riffs. So how do you make our Afrofusion distinct from other Afrofusion music?
I think the way I sing also is a bit different. What I hear people say a lot is the voice. How I use the voice and my guitar is just distinctly me, And then these other elements, I incorporate them into my own style. So I might take some elements of culture here and there, but the point is that I need to sing like Nina Ogot. I don't need to sing like somebody else. And Nina Ogot carries also some cultural elements here and there that I incorporate into my music. And I think that's what makes it unique.
Will you explore some coastal music in future?
I do. Like there's a song, I don't know, I took that song and I made it into my own. This was a song that people sing in weddings a lot at the coast. And when I was hosting the wedding show, I was traveling a lot, and I was in Kilifi, in Malindi, and all these coastal regions. And I would hear this song a lot. And so I did my own interpretation of it. It's on the album as well. And yes, I love coastal rhythms a lot, and I use them in my music too. Yeah.
You did the wedding show, but you refused to invite us for the wedding. You know, that is where we fall.
When I was doing the wedding show, was I married yet? I'm not sure. Yes, yeah. That's a good point, Charles. I was hosting the wedding show and didn't invite people to the wedding. Yeah. What can I say? No.
You just went to the AGs, and then you're like...
Yeah, I invited the AG, he was there, and that was most important.
And us? Sisi Watus.
Yeah, the Watus, sorry.
So Nina hosted the wedding show minus us, and then she didn't do a wedding. She just leaked into we saw in the blogs.
You know, also when I was little, I never saw myself having a grand wedding, and really never did. So I think the way we did the wedding was true to us, because we never really wanted anything huge or fancy or things like that. So, yeah.
So when you're telling guys, oh, we are going to Kilifi for a wedding, you're picking nice vibes for music. Hook on the side, you're saying, this is not my thing.
Yeah, there's something that's, to me, that's overrated about big weddings. You know, I feel, first, I have so many questions. Why are we wearing this white dress? What is it for, you know? And culturally speaking, why? You know, there's a lot of whys. Why do we do it like this? Is there no other way to do it?
Yes.
And so until I find my own answers to why I cannot do it different, then I just don't feel like I want to do it like everybody else, you know?
But in Luo tradition, these nyombo, which is nowadays getting grander every day.
True.
Yeah.
I think that's a good alternative to explore, you know? But also, you know, if you're going to be, for example, in an intercultural marriage, you know, I've seen a lot of foreigners marrying Kenyans. They don't necessarily understand the reason behind marrying like this, you know. What is a cow? Why is the cow such an important significance? Why are we paying money? You know, there's so many things. So it's not just the white dress, it's all these principles and things that go behind it that need to make sense. If I ask you for 20 cows, where will I keep them? I live in Nairobi, if we live in apartments these days, where will you keep those cows? So we have to think of new ways and not just making it about money, because it's not about money.
Weddings nowadays is about money.
And you see, that's what I'm saying. If I now just say, let's just wear that white dress, let's spend money on a white dress, I don't even understand why I'm wearing it. Let's just invite strangers, I don't even know why they're coming. There's so many things I think we have to rethink. And so because I didn't have an answer, there was no alternative. I just thought maybe just having the good old AG doing his job, at least he's happy to be there, he's doing his job.
Just to sign?
Just sign your papers, the two of you understand why you're there.
Yes.
And it's about the two of you.
And the parents.
And the parents,
yes.
Yeah. So those are the most important people, your family and your spouse to be, I guess. To me, that's what it is.
So what would you advise the young girls who want to get married their own way?
I don't give any advice. These days, I am no guru of anything. I would say just be true to your own beliefs, and if you want to pay dowry, if you want to wear a white dress, do that, you know? Because if that's what you believe and that's what you want to do, then why shouldn't you do it?
Don't you think that wedding is overrated?
Yes.
It is?
I think so. That's my own, I mean, nobody should shoot me in the foot for it. It's the truth. That's my feeling.
That wedding is overrated?
Yeah, and people spend fortunes on these weddings, and then after a year or two, either you're divorced or you have no money, or you have bills you're struggling to pay. So I don't understand. I think people should marry and do these lavish weddings if they can afford it, and not be too caught in the image of the two of us are getting married, we're walking down the aisle and we're trying to meet a standard that is an illusion, you know?
And the cows we are giving...
Sorry to burst people's bubbles, I don't know.
And the cows
I
to
don't want
parents?
to sound so pessimistic. If people want to pay these cows to the parents, they should. You know, it's about the families. Do they agree on it? Dowry is also not supposed to be this tedious thing that you're doing. It should bring the families together. But often it separates families because you're demanding something so high that this other family can't pay, or that family doesn't see that these 100 cows you're demanding is the value of that girl. Maybe they think she's valuable equal to 2 cows, and you're asking for 200. So how do you quantify a human's value using cows? You see, these are discussions also. The families should have and agree. Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. We've taken note of that. So what are you reading currently?
Actually, I've been doing a lot of autobiographies. Yeah. I started with, what gave me this incentive was I started with Michelle Obama's book, yes, Becoming. Yes. And then I thought, okay, you know, we always read about Americans and other cultures. And then I found another autobiography by a lady called Elizabeth Nyamayaro from Zimbabwe, and it's called I'm a Girl from Africa. Yes. And I liked that book a lot. And so it opened my eyes to the diversity, you know. It's autobiographies, but such diverse experiences in life. Then I tried reading Mahatma Gandhi, and I didn't get past page 50. First, the book was really small print, and the culture was so foreign, you know, these Hindu practices, and it felt too far for me. So that was an autobiography I struggled to finish. And now the one I want to read, which is next to my bed, and I haven't opened it, is Grace Ogot's book. Yeah, her autobiography. So I'm doing a series of autobiographies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and the inspirational books, you don't do them? Those ones who tell you I started a business with 2 eggs and now I'm a multi-millionaire?
I love those books because they make you dream, and they make you dream big. I don't know how real they are, yes, you know, but I've done my fair share. There's a year I read at least 40 books of those kind. And I think they add value, you know, they add value, they're inspirational also. But the result is I am no gazillionaire after reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
You're still a musician.
We're still together in this same old career, the same, you know, so I don't know, maybe they help others. Yeah, but they're good reads nonetheless. Yeah.
So how do you describe Nina Ogot?
How do I describe Nina Ogot? As an artist, you mean? Or as a person?
As a person?
Yeah.
As an artist? And as a mother?
Yeah, I would say that all the three are just one person. The artist, the mother, the teacher, the whatever it is all just one person. And my personality, like I mentioned before, is sometimes extroverted, sometimes introverted. And you get to hear it in my music, I guess. My experiences, I share them in my sound, in my music. Yeah, so if you want to know more about Nina Ogot, listen to my music. Then from the first album to the third album, you maybe get to hear the stories I tell about myself, how I've matured as an artist as well. You get to maybe hear it in the music.
How you matured as a person?
Correct, also, especially as a person.
How you fell in love?
Oh my God. Now, this actually, it's interesting that you bring love again.
Yes.
In a very tricky way.
No, just say how you fell in love, because this is not music.
Yeah, wow, I fell in love.
It's not tricky, but how did you fall in love?
The good way, I guess.
What is the bad way?
I don't know what for me it was the good way. So maybe somebody else in your next interview can ask them, is there a bad way to fall in love? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't know, the good old way, boy meets girl and they fall in love.
And the next and the next and they are there.
Exactly.
Cool. And that's very inspiring. But the only question you've not answered. Yeah. So how is Winyo? The final question.
Winyo is fine. I heard that he's done this release with a DJ called Suraj. And so he's also trying to mix a lot of his Benga sound with more contemporary rhythms. And yeah, and it's good stuff. I like it a lot. So he's still going strong in his music and still producing some interesting stuff.
And that's it?
Yes.
We don't proceed?
No.
Viewers,
full stop. That's the purpose of a full stop.
So you won't tell listeners and viewers whether you're together or not?
No.
you will bypass that.
Yes.
Okay. And that's why History Makers is here. We'll come back next time with Winyo to tell us whether they are here or not.
I'll alert Winyo not to answer your phone. I'll tell him if it's Charles, just ignore, because I know what he's going to ask you.
No, it's a very simple question. It's easy.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell him to pick my cards.
I will. I'll do my best. Or maybe I'll keep quiet so he can choose if he wants to pick the call.
And if he wants to answer the question.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
We let it pass.
Okay.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you for coming.
Thank you
Keep
so much.
giving us good music.
Yeah.
We love your music, your talent.
Thank you.
And your personality. You're always as vivacious as I saw you 13 years ago.
Thank you.
Asante. And that is History Makers for you with Nina Ogot today. Thank you.
Welcome.
Muziki ya mashairi, methali za muziki. Oh, muziki ya asili, adabu, tabasamu, saa zingine maisha karabu, tabasamu.